Walking your property, whether you're listing it or whether you're trying to buy it, is literally the most fundamental thing you can do. We want to talk about the three basic reasons why you should do this and really just take a hard look on this physical inspection, if you will, and making it more about not just walking that particular building or that particular space, but also seeing what's around it and who's involved. So today we're going to go through three basic things that you should be doing on every single property walk in commercial real estate. My name is Jimmy Shatara with Skyrise Commercial, so let's get into it. Number one, we want to have this physical inspection be more not just going through the motions and opening doors and seeing the physical condition of that space, but really is the actual layout congruent to what I want to use it for. Because at the end of the day, we're all talking about creating more value for the property. So when I'm walking a space, let's just call it a retail storefront that might have some warehouse space in the back. We actually had a property a few years ago where it was about 3,000 to 4,000 square foot space with half of it for a retail storefront. This was an HVAC company. So any type of home service company, they could use this for their showroom, they could use this for their office, for their employees, their break room, and also for their bathrooms. But also we have this warehouse component. So this is where it gets interesting. We could have inventory coming in and out. We have several overhead doors, which we could actually make larger considering how high the warehouse component was. And then we also have another garage where we could actually put vehicles in. Small trucks, possibly box trucks, considering if we could take off the roof. And we wanted to look at what other businesses would be able to go into this building. So this is going to expand our buyer base. This is when I was actually listing the property. But if I was an investor, I would be able to utilize it in the other ways just mentioned, utilizing both the storefront as well as the warehouse space. So we want to talk about different uses when we're going through the space. This also has to go with the floor plan, and also how old is this building? Can I utilize all the mechanical, the electrical, the plumbing? How's the roof? So these are things, even before I get the property under contract, that is circulating in my brain and my mind, or even if I get the listing rather, I want to know what kind of checklist I'm going to need to hit. So this is something that I do both as an investor, as a broker, and looking at these things on the physical front when we actually walk the space. So that is number one. Number two is going to be spotting opportunities. The area that we are in, I want to know more about the neighborhood, this sub-market, if you will, within the city I'm trying to get a property listed in or looking for on behalf of my buyer. So looking at the particular area, is there additional land by it? Possibly make an assemblage, if you will. And an assemblage is just a term of assembling some land together and making it, for a purchase of multiple land parcels or properties, if you will. So I'm also looking for that. Who's around there? Who has other buildings that are complementary to mine? So again, if this is a retail storefront, is there other complementary retailers that would complement my use? If I'm owning that property for my business, I would like-minded tenants to drive traffic to my center or to my space within that intersection, if you will. And also as an investor, I want to see if there's not saturation of other tenants. And of course, we have other tools to figure that out as far as site selection is concerned. Really, there's no substitute to seeing these other opportunities around me in that neighborhood. And, that brings me to the third point. And the third point is I want to talk to the people that are involved. Of course, the other agent on the other side, if this property is listed, I want to talk to the seller and know the history of this building and know more about the neighborhood. There's some things that you're just not going to know behind a desk when it comes to the history of a property. These are things that are going to come out in conversation. Maybe it's used, whether it's in negotiations or maybe even some ideas I didn't think about to utilize the space. This could be in relation to past tenants that were in this space and they were utilizing it in a way that I really didn't think about. And possibly this is going to increase the value of the property when I get it properly tenanted. Whether this is a multi-tenant strip center, or possibly this is a single tenant with a owner user potential, just like the retail storefront I talked about earlier with the HVAC company. So these three quick things are very important. And I know, we always walk properties, and even sometimes, if we're selling across state lines, we still need someone to actually walk the space, actually walk the parcel of land or the building. At the end of the day, most people are going to have some type of physical inspection, maybe environmental inspection. So some of these things are already going to come out. But the biggest thing with all these three items is disclosure. We want to have this information, have all the facts set up where there is no surprises, and I believe more information is better for all parties involved. So with that being said, these are the three items that are fundamental to every single property visit when it comes to your commercial property, whether that being a broker or an investor. So keep that in mind. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.